Hi everyone, I'm Abby, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for Trials and Tribulations. Now, last episode we started the game and we witnessed Mia's technically speaking second trial where she first met Phoenix Wright. And we finished the first part of the trial, so now we have to go on to the second part of the trial. Yeah, this is where things start to get interesting. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Plain, please call your witness. This next person is someone who witnessed the crime as it happened. Prosecution calls Miss Dahlia Hawthorne to the stand. She's very pretty, isn't she? It's easy to see why Phoenix fell for her. What's with the stiff silence? In my long career as a judge, I have been deceived by many witnesses. My job to doubt, to take no one at their word. But in your case, it must have meant that you radiate a glow of complete sincerity. I can't believe he actually said that. Oh, now then, witness. Could you please state your full name? Don't worry, sweetie. There's no need to be nervous. If anyone says anything rude, you can be sure I'll cut them right down to size, and I will bash them with my gavel. I love how they look straight at me when they say that. Thank you for calming my nerves. You were all so nice. I almost feel right at home. Not at all. It was nothing. If we may move on now. What is your full name and occupation? My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm a junior in literature at Ivy University. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. The honor is all mine. No, the honor is all mine. Well, we know whose milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Sir? Is there something I can help you with? Just go on and say whatever is on your mind. I'm sure there must be some kind of mistake. Feeny wouldn't kill anyone. I just know it. Yes, I can see why you'd say that. She's going to be a tough witness, alright. It only took her 12 seconds to wrap them all around her little finger. Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Let's hear about what you witnessed on the day of the incident, if you please. I had been planning to go back to Feeny's place after class was over. Feeny and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. Then suddenly, Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed. That's when Feeny noticed that I was there. I wanted to go and find some other students and they called the authorities. I don't know what to say. According to you, Miss Hawthorne, the defendant didn't do anything wrong. Young lady, as old as I am, even I recall how the flames of young passion can burn. Nevertheless, it's my job to discover the truth. Please tell us the truth. But I would never. Alright, that's more than enough, witness. I won't allow this to continue. What do you mean by that? Please, just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honor. I, for one, don't plan to win my case on a bunch of paper-thin lies. Teehee, you haven't changed a bit. Mia Fey. What's this? So you two are acquainted? Yes, we've met before. Once. In any case, Miss Fey, the floor is all yours. It's good to see you again, Madam Fey. Madam? I'm no one's grandma yet, girlie. Keep that in mind. That'll be important later. Okay. Are you saying the victim just collapsed on his own? Yes. In other words, the defendant never touched the victim. Is that right? I was watching the whole time. He never did a thing to Dougie. If I pressed her for no good reason, I just know the judge will get angry with me. What should I do about our testimony just now? Feeble lies are not very becoming, Miss Hawthorne. So let's drop them, shall we? What? I would never. Miss Faye, I will not allow you to badger this witness. I believe the defense is engaged in a fishing expedition. That is, she has no supporting... Please don't glare at me like that. I'm just doing my job. Now then, Miss Hawthorne. The defendant's palm print was found in Mr. Swallow's leather jacket. It has already been shown that Mr. Wright did, in fact, push the victim. What? There's no need to try to cover for the defendant. It'll be much better if you came out and told us the whole truth. There's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything that you saw. Yes, Your Honor. I will. If you don't mind, I'd like to revise my testimony. Looks like a friend like getting somewhere. Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie. It didn't look like they were fighting, and I didn't hear anything unusual either. You say you didn't hear anything unusual. Is that correct? Yes, that's why I was very relaxed, looking at the scenery around me. That's nice, but I find that just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright, and he clearly testified to the effect. And when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise. He said that? If you were really that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear this noise as well? Oh, well, maybe the noise just wasn't all that memorable. But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. There's no way a noise like that could fail to make an impression. Ack! May I have a moment to answer? By all means. I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise. You see, the truth is, I had my headphones on, and I was listening to music at the time. Headphones? You mean that both of your ears were covered? Rain was just beginning to let up, but it seemed as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end yet. So the sky continued to flash and rumble. Thunder and lightning, huh? Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of thunder. I put my headphones on to block it out. Well, Your Honor, as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in our testimony after all. Wait a sec, Mia. That testimony just now. You said something that could totally change this whole case. Your Honor, there is a problem with the witness's testimony. What do you mean? Didn't you notice? She said there was lightning, correct? Yes? What about it? Well, lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere, am I right? Now's not the time for a science lesson, Miss Faye. Yes, Your Honor. Anyway, since the cause of death was electrocution, isn't it possible the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning? Oh, ah! I must admit that the thought had not occurred to me. Just what kind of thoughts do occur to this guy anyway? I know, right? This entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Doug Swallow was murdered. But that very premise itself is mistaken. The defense believes that Mr. Swallow was, in fact, the victim of a stray bolt. It appears the defense may be onto something. Could it be that the death was actually accidental? Alright, you did it, Mia. I'll be taking that not guilty now if you don't. I'm hurt that you have such a low opinion of me, Miss Faye. Huh? I'm not a fool, you know. Prosecution has done its research, Your Honor. We found that there were no lightning strikes on that day at that location. What? What's more, we have evidence that electrical cable has definitely linked this case. Evidence, Mr. Payne? Well, what is this evidence? This affidavit. And who was this affidavit from? The pharmacology students were conducting experiments in our labs that day. Allow me to read out to the court the testimony of the pharmacology students. All equipment in the labs lost power all of a sudden around 3 p.m. that day. Was it a blackout? All of the lab's equipment runs on high voltage, Your Honor. So you're saying the equipment lost power because... Precisely, they lost power because of the severed electrical cable. Power outage occurred at approximately 3 p.m. Which fits with the time of death listed in the autopsy report. Exactly. In other words, the victim died as a result of touching the severed electrical cable. According to the students, the cables were very old. They're planning on having them replaced in the near future. I see. Apparently the cables have become so brittle that even the smallest bump could have caused them to break. However, there is one thing that troubles me. The cable could have been broken by any small bump. Then it wouldn't have snapped if it hadn't been bumped into, correct? Well, I suppose you could say that. Miss Faye? Do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of the severed cable? Your Honor. I don't like how this is looking one bit. I have to come up with something to try to regain some momentum. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion. Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? Fortunately, it had to be Phoenix, right? Yeah. Your Honor, please think back to Mr. Wright's testimony. The defendant's testimony? He said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a loud, sharp noise. Now, this happened at around 3 p.m., correct? Yes, that sounds right. Wait, are you saying that the lab equipment lost power at 2:55 p.m., which fits right into Mr. Wright's timeline? In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage. Yes, the prosecution also came to that same conclusion, and it was that very shove that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted. I'm afraid that I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne. Well, what's that supposed to mean? Take a good look at where the victim landed after being shoved. See the umbrella? It's by the electrical pole. That's right, the victim banged into the pole as a result of being pushed. It was that impact that caused the cable to break. Well, that makes sense. Then the victim was electrocuted. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but no, it doesn't make sense at all. If the victim was shoved into the far pole, then he couldn't have been electrocuted by the severed cable in the foreground here. Ah! In other words, someone other than my client must have electrocuted the victim. Order! Order in the court. Lamentations on my enemy. How I've longed to hear them. It's true. The defense is absolutely correct. There doesn't seem to be any way the defendant could have done it. Mr. Judge, sir? May I say something? Madam Attorney's explanation. She said some things that are a little different than I remember them. What the? Please, just once more. May I please testify one last time? Please, Mr. Judge? Of course it's alright. Just go right ahead and give your new testimony. This is it. She's finally starting to show her true colors. The truth is, Feeney pushed him twice. First time was into the electrical pole. That's when the cable broke. The Dougie tried his best to run away from him. If Feeney could have crashed into him from behind, cable snapping and Dougie being electrocuted, it all occurred in less than a minute. So after being shoved, the victim got up and tried to run away. And that's when the defendant pushed him for the second time. I'm so sorry, Feeney, but I just have to tell the truth. Am I doing the right thing? Am I, Mr. Judge? Of course you are, my dear. As painful as it may seem, you are. Now then, Miss Faye, you may proceed with your cross-examination. That's enough, witness. I'm afraid I don't understand. You will in a minute. Please take a look at this picture. Oh, that medicine. That's the one Feeny likes to take for his cold. It's not the medicine I want you to look at. It's the wristwatch. It stops at the precise time the victim was electrocuted. In other words, 3:05 p.m. Yes, and your point is, Miss Faye? My point is this. What time was it when the lab suffered that power outage due to the cable snapping? Well, according to the student's testimony, the answer is clear. It was 2:55 p.m. Ah! Would you care to explain to the court, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne, what exactly happened during this 10-minute interval? The defense proposes that it was during this interval that the real murderer killed Mr. Duckswallow. Order! Order in the court. Why is this all... This is nonsense! The real murderer? Even you can't deny the time of the cable breaking and the execution are completely unaccounted for. Then who was it? Who else are you saying could have done it? There's only one person who could have murdered Mr. Swallow. Only after my client had left the scene. Was there a window of opportunity for the real killer? Miss Faye? Is the defense ready to indict someone as this real killer? It's finally time. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Yes, Your Honor. We are ready. Very well. But remember, if you accuse the wrong person, you will be penalized. Think very carefully before you speak, Miss Faye. Now then, Miss Faye, let's have it. Who is the real killer? It has to be her. She's the only other person that we have that could fit that description. It could only have been you, Dahlia Hawthorne. What? How can you... The defense is grasping at straws. 10 minutes passed between the time the cable broke and the time of the electrocution. What exactly were you doing that whole time, Miss Hawthorne? Were you really listening to some music while cheering them both on as they fought? I find it hard to believe that you didn't lift a finger to stop the man dearest to you. Order, order. Miss Faye. What? I mean, why? That is to say, Miss Hawthorne, I believe you did witness the two men fighting on that day. However, after Mr. Wright pushed the victim subsequently left the scene, it was you who pushed Mr. Swallow to his death by your very own hands. Ah! How can you say something so mean, Madam Faye? I didn't do anything. Miss Faye, this is a very serious charge you are... Your Honor, please, I have something I want to say. Achoo! You? What is it? Please check everything the defense said just now from the record. What the? Are you daft? You're totally wrong, Miss Faye. Dolly, she couldn't do something like that. Mr. Wright, get back in your seat. Bailiff, grab that man. Ah! Achoo, achoo! Leave my Dolly alone! That boy. He's gotten himself in weighted over his head. Oh, Mr. Grossberg, you're back. Seems I've arrived just in the nick of time. I found a police report on that incident in your newspaper clipping. Thank you so much. That's exactly what I was hoping for. You better take a good look at it. It, details how you came to lose your boyfriend. Now then, defense made a very serious accusation. Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this? Well, really, Your Honor. That is a... May I interrupt you for just a moment, Mr. Prosecutor? Ah, don't you worry, my dear. I have the situation well in hand. That is go right ahead. Madam Faye, are you seriously accusing me of killing my sweet Dougie? Yes, I am. Not only am I saying you murdered Duck Swallow, but you also tried to pin the whole thing on your current lover, Phoenix Wright. I told you that you should let me handle this. Sorry, please go right ahead. How can you say that? I'm absolutely devoted to my dear Feeny. The notion that I would try to frame him is ludicrous. It's all just too much for poor little me to bear. What if the girl is trying to ask what on earth her motive would be? The answer to that lies somewhere in this police report. It must. 8 months ago, an incident occurred in the basement cafeteria of this building. And then, that same day, the two of them accidentally met. Your Honor, the defense requests further testimony from Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Further testimony? What about? About the events of the day when she first met the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What could that possibly have to do with this case? The witness claims that she has no reason to frame the defendant. Am I correct? Well, I have evidence that suggests that she, in fact, had a very good reason. Very well, then. The court grants the defense's request. Young lady, would you mind staying on for just a little bit longer? Of course not, Mr. Judge. Get ready for the battle of your life, Dahlia Hawthorne. I'll stop this soon. Like right after she gives her testimony. I first met my darling Feeny 8 months ago. It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse's basement reading room. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. We've been going out ever since that fateful day. We're so lovey-dovey, literally make people sick. It's just jealousy, I think. Mr. Wright, do that again, you'll be held in contempt of court. And now we enter the final act of our little drama. As we used to say in the days of my youth, go get her. Okay, let's stop this here. We'll finish up Turnabout Memories next time. Trust me, there's still a lot of cool stuff to come, yeah. I'm sure you're probably getting the gist of this, what Dahlia Hawthorne's all about, though. I won't spoil it, though. So yeah, thanks for watching. Feel free to like and comment and subscribe and check out my Twitch and Ko-Fi and Twitter/X. And next episode, again, we'll be finishing up Turnabout Memories, and some cool stuff is going to come up, yeah. So look forward to that. Peace off.